Howdy, y'all. Today is April 3rd, 2026. Trying to remember where it was. Um, and I don't know, I feel like we've been a little negative these past couple videos. Maybe we'll try to be a little positive in this video today. We'll try to bring some positivity. And honestly, I don't know. I mean, it probably won't be positive. It'll probably be shit like everything else. You know how it is. I mean, that's kind of how a lot of things feel right now, right? There's a lot of old people in comparison to very few young people. There's a lot of job instability and problems. People are worried about a lot of things. Um, I don't know. I was walking around yesterday. I go on a walk almost every day. Not today because today the wind was whipping and it was freezing cold outside. But normally I go on a walk every single day. And everywhere I was going, it's just old people. It's like, and I get it. There's a lot of old people near me. It's kind of like a little retirement area. But man, it just feels like the world is old people, which isn't a bad thing. I mean, I guess to some extent it is, but like, man, I don't know. I look around and it's like nobody wants to have kids. Nobody. There's no young people around anymore, right? Like, I'm not surprised they're having to bring in all these fucking H-1B visas and foreign workers who have no standing in the United States because there's just like no. It's like sex has become for sport. There's no, everybody hates kids, nobody really wants them. The world is becoming old people. It's going to become a geriatric hellhole. Oh my god, no, dude, oh no, I fucking failed so early. How dare I fail you? I'm so sorry. I suck. I'm a scrub. But man, it's just like I was going for a walk and everybody I saw was at least like 40 or older. And I wouldn't say, I don't know, I guess 40 is not old. 40 is like middle age, right? But man, there were a lot of people that were just ancient, like 80, 70, 90, walking around, right? And it really got me thinking, like, man, how many people just didn't do anything else, that they're, and it's not bad, I guess, to not have kids, like whatever, it's a personal decision. I'm not going to judge you. I guess I wouldn't mind having kids, but at the end of the day, I probably never will because I've had such bad experiences with relationships and all types of crap like that. But it's just kind of weird to see. I'm gonna take this first hit, which is fine. God. Just spam them out. It's just like, yeah, fuck it. Just gun him down straight up, piss in his face. But yeah, dude, I don't know. It's just like I know there's not really a lot of hope for the future in the younger generation, and I can kind of understand why. We're gonna be, us and the millennials are like the first generations who are actually gonna have a worse off life than our parents. We're gonna have it harder than our parents. We're gonna have to work more for less. And then with all this bullshit, like, oh my god, I've been looking into like BMW and the subscription garbage in cars, and that shit pisses me off to such a horrendous extent. I don't know. I feel like once you buy something, you own it, right? Every feature included. It shouldn't be, oh, you bought it, now you only own a portion of it and you have to subscribe to get heated seats or garbage, right? No, you should be able to just straight hack it. Fuck it, it's my, well, you shouldn't even have to hack it, to be honest. You should just have it. You should own it, right? Because you bought the car. But even if there's a subscription garbage, I don't even blame people for hacking into it and forcing the program to work. Like, fuck it. These companies try to siphon so much money out of us for no reason. They're the greediest, most worthless fucks. Especially the car industry right now. I think man, I think if you could buy a bare bones car, like what would I like to own? I would like to own a medium sized truck, bare bones, only AC and not even radio, only AC basically, right? That's the only bonus feature I that's the only bonus feature I would want in my car is AC air heating. I would not want a radio. I don't need any of this touchscreen crap. I don't need a backup camera. None of this extra garbage that just increases the price of your car exponentially, right? That's just garbage. I hate all these extra features. I think technology technology creep, like having touch screens on your oven and microwave and stuff like that, or like screens on your fridge. There's a level of just disgust I feel by the over extension of technology into everything and anything that it doesn't need, right? Um, I don't know. I'll never buy a fridge with a screen. I'll never buy a fucking BMW after I saw this garbage. And I don't like luxury cars already, so ooh, that should have hit me, but whatever. I don't like I'll never buy a luxury car. I think a luxury car is a stupid idea. I think the idea of I don't know, I'm a frugal person, you know. I truly think if I won the lottery, like multiple millions, I would be the same guy. You know what would happen? I'd probably try harder on YouTube. That's probably all that would change is I'd get like a better setup and a better mic and try a little harder because I just love to do stuff I enjoy, you know? I wouldn't I don't know. Money changes a lot of people. It makes people start gambling a lot. They get really weird with it. I hate gambling. I hate luxury. I hate all types of garbage like that. I don't DoorDash anything. I always try to make stuff at home or my family makes stuff. You know, that's how it is. But I don't know. It's just I didn't hit him. It's just it's just weird to see what people do with money because I don't know. And you know, I guess I've never really had the option to have an extreme amount of money. So, you know how people are when it changes them over time. So maybe if I did, I would be a little more open to spending. You know, like all I would get, honestly, what I would get, I'd get a small home, single layer, probably ranch style. I'd get not a new car, but I'd get a little bit newer. I have an '08 Honda. Um, and it's not bad. I love Honda, but it's just I could do with a little bit of a better update where it runs a little better, right? That's probably the only update. And then I don't know, maybe a new-ish PC. Not really. I mean, this PC is great. I probably won't ever swap this PC out until it strokes. This PC, by the way, I've owned this PC for 8 years. I've never opened it once. I've never cleaned it. I've never brushed it out. I'm kind of scared to brush the dust out of it at this point. So when it croaks, it's gonna catch fire and implode. But I don't know. It's just I don't know. It weirds me out. Like when I used to work at a gas station for a little while, and it would just piss me off to see people come in and gamble everything they had away, straight up, just everything they had. And I know it shouldn't. Did I not mix my flask? Why do I have? Maybe I didn't mix my flask yet. Whoops. I'm thinking of some other playthrough. I guess I don't know. Oh, do I not have a bronze shield either? Why am I using this brown shield? Oh fuck, dude. I'm using a weird setup, I guess. I don't really remember running this. Okay, hold on. I need to change the setup. I don't have anything right. I don't know what I'm doing right now. I, I was looking at my shield. I was looking at my sword setup. Nothing is right. Let's fix this before we go, and then we can actually clutch this. But man, what the hell is my setup right now? Hold on. We're gonna mix the wonder. I didn't. What am I doing? What am I doing? I I just brought that in and did nothing with it, you know? Holy cow. Let's swap this. All the shields have parry, huh? Man, really? Okay, I need to get one of those bronze shields. That's what I need to do when I have the opportunity. So let's see. What else do I have? What else am I rocking? I don't know. I think I'll just rock this. I don't really care about summoning. I mean, I've already beaten the game. I have all the achievements. At this point, I should probably just summon to get through the game in every situation. So maybe we'll just start doing that. But honestly, the gameplay isn't the point of this. The point is just kind of talk and chat with y'all. But I don't know. At the end of the day, I think a lot of things are getting a little bit worse. I think it's getting harder for people to survive out there. And I think that companies are just making it worse in a weird way. Like, why make a worse product that the customer doesn't want, that pisses off the customer? Like, what type of business strategy is that, right? I don't know. It weirds me out. Oh fuck, I'm dead. Oh no. That's fine. That's fine. We'll clutch it. We'll clutch them up. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. When I think about it, it's just this technology creep is getting to such a weird level, such a weird level, and it's infecting everything. There's just no way around it. A lot of things are going towards this weird subscription motto, and I don't agree with that. I think once you buy something, you should own it right out. There shouldn't be any of this garbage. There should be no extras that you're forced to have that you don't necessarily want. It's just I don't know. Like I said, it weirds me out with where we're going on a technological scale because it feels like we're regressing. Oh, that broke my stem. Holy shit. There you go. Just had to piss in his face right there. But yeah, I don't know. It's weird. I wish technology wasn't regressing in a weird way because you think as time would go on, technology would consistently improve. It would get better over time. But it just doesn't seem to be happening that way. And I don't know, maybe this is just a way they can suck more money out of us without having to do anything better, right? But it's so frustrating, especially when everything's already getting more expensive. It's like how are you supposed to really deal with this in an effective way without I don't know, without losing your shit, right? Like and then obviously I feel like so much of the stuff we do is a waste of money. Like medical insurance is a waste of money. It should be universal. Fucking all this garbage that they try to put in our food, it should be outlawed. Then you have freaking, old people having to work extremely longer in their lives to actually survive because they thought, things would be better. But all of a sudden their rent increases freaking 4 or 5 times, right? And they have all these other problems that come through. It's just all these unexpected expenses that are becoming a major problem for us, right? That's the weird thing, I guess, just seeing is how much they're all following me up. Just how much of this I didn't expect we would have to be paying for to such an extreme extent, right? And that's obviously not the only thing. What? That's not the only thing holding people back from owning things or having kids or all types of crap, right? But it's just kind of weird to see. I don't know. So many people like it's like 1,500 a month for daycare, right? Like what? How fucked up is that, right? Like how can anybody afford that at the end of the day? That's most people. That's like a major chunk of most people's income right there. 1,500 a month for freaking daycare or childcare, like and a lot of people, how it's supposed to be. You have your parents and your grandparents and your aunts and uncles help you, right? It's a family. It takes a village. But man, it's just like a lot of people don't talk to their family, or a lot of people don't have big families anymore. So it's even harder for people to do that without actually falling into the trap of extreme daycare prices, right? where'd you come from? But I don't know. I can see the firsthand effects of this problem in not my generation really. Nobody in my generation really wants to have kids. Nobody that I know wants to have kids besides maybe Caden. But even them, they're renting. They need a bigger home to have kids. That's what they think, right? So it's just and if you of course if you like work from home, there's different opportunities there, right? I think more people okay, bye. I think more people that have that work from home are more likely to have kids because you get to spend more time with them. You don't have to worry about all this childcare garbage. But and having kids is not, it's not the end all be all of life, of course. But it's also you think the people who would be having kids would be the rich and the middle class, right? And the rich still have kids. They have an extreme amount of kids. But the people actually having kids are the rich and the poor. There's no middle class having kids anymore because people don't have the money to afford them. There's no backups. There's no line out. There's no group. There's no not olive branch, but there's no line of credit you can really drag out to save yourself if anything happens, right? Especially once you have a kid. And a lot of people, of course, they don't want to have kids because they just want to relax, they want to party, they want to do other crap that they just want to live their own life, right? And there's no hate towards that. Obviously, if you want to live your own life and do your own thing, that's fine. Um, I don't know. I don't know. It's strange. The world we're living in is getting different every day, and not for the better. Not for the betterment, sadly. Most people I know have to have two jobs now, right? Me, I was busting my ass day in day out, 6 days a week, 5 days a week, every week at being a upper management at a grocery store. I hated my life. I hated dealing with people. I don't think I'll ever go back to customer service. Customer service is it grains on the soul. I can see why we're going towards automation because nobody wants to do those jobs. Dealing with people sucks. Any job where you don't have to deal with people directly is a blessing in and of itself. Especially when people they treat retail workers or people, obviously your grocery store employees, they're necessary. They got to stock your stuff. They got to give you your crap, right? But people just treat them so poorly, and it's just so weird to see. I used to have to not call the most vile, worthless bitches exactly what they were. This and near the end, I just started cussing people out. I just started treating them like garbage because I was like, "Fuck you! You're treating me like shit. I hope you die." Fuck it. I don't care anymore. You want to be a fucking garbage human being? I'm being garbage right back to you. And that was how it got near the end because it's just seeing, oh my god, just seeing this weird like faux superiority that these people really think they have over you, even though they're just another human being. It's weird. I don't know. And at the end of the day, if you are mean to retail people, if you're a trash person to people just trying to do their job, you're a fucking lesser being. I don't believe in you ever having happiness in your life because you don't believe in ever treating people how they deserve, right? Straight up. Now, obviously, it doesn't mean people can't do shit jobs and you fucking have to be like, all right, what the hell are we doing? You're garbage. I don't know what we're doing here. You suck at your job. Sometimes people truly do suck at their job. But it could be something so small as us not having like a jar of jam or something like that, like a specific jam jar, and people would freak the fuck out. It's like, all right, bitch, you and your fucking first world problems, you can cry me a river of tears, all this crocodile garbage. Fuck out my face, right? That's truly how it got to at the end of the point. And I don't know. I just it sucks when you work for these big companies and you have to take an extreme amount of disrespect from just loser people who have nothing going through them in their lives, and they think they're superior to you in some way somehow, even though you're all just people at the end of the day, right? I don't know. I don't know. I think that's why retail has such a drastic overturn rating, where people hire in at a people get hired in and then they leave extremely quickly, right? Like after working at my original company, I tried working at a gas station, I tried working at other retail stores, and I just fucking hated it. Every day I went in, it was miserable. I had no, obviously when I worked at a grocery store, I felt like I was actually helping people out, and I was getting people their stuff. But any other store I worked at, I was retail, was just garbage. Clothing stores were garbage. Fucking, I worked at a sunglass store for a while, and that was the worst job I've ever had. Just dog shit people, and everybody was stealing from it all the time. We let in all these fucking garbage human beings that have lesser fucking beliefs, and then they just start mass stealing from places. It's like, okay, well, we're not arresting them because they don't do $200. Less than $200 isn't a crime nowadays. And I still think less than $200, you should go to fucking jail, right? Like straight up, that's just how it is. But man, I don't know. I don't know. It's just so disappointing to see. And I live in a fucking liberal hellhole. I try to not hate on one side more than the other, but God, dude, the left is fucking retarded nowadays. Obviously, fucking the right isn't any better. They're still siphoning money from us. They're giving it away to shithole countries that doesn't deserve it. All of our money should go to, believe it or not, Americans. But what do I know? I guess I don't know. It's just stupid. It's just so disappointing. At the end of the day, honestly, like my one of my greatest quotes. If you ever look at the profile picture on my channel, there's a little text that got cut off, and the full text is just know that life is depressing. And the longer I have lived, the more true that statement has become. The longer I've lived, honestly, it's just, man, it's just frustrating. I don't know. It's just so frustrating. And I try to be nice to everybody I can. The people that fucking come out, they work hard, they bust their shit. It's like, all right, you're doing great, you're working hard, you're trying your best. I don't know. I don't know. And even here, even I still live with my family. I'm at home. I pay a lot in rent. Some of my friends, they don't pay anything in rent, and they're 23, 24. It kind of feels, it's a little ridiculous, but man, it's kind of weird to see the difference, of course, in parent. Everybody's got their own parent styles. Everybody's got their own beliefs. But man, it's just the more I feel kind of bad that I'm still here, honestly. But the more that adults have to, well, not adults, but the more that parents have to financially support their adult children, it's just, you can tell the economy is going down the shitter when that number keeps going up and up and up and up and up. And obviously they say we're at the best moment in the economy that we've ever been at, but that's only for the top 10%, top 1% who actually get bonuses from the stock market, right? I think the statistic is 50% of the stock market is held by the top like 1% or 10%, and 90, no, 50% is the top 1, 90% is the top 10, right? And then I think it's 1% is the bottom chunk of like 40% of Americans, and it's just, obviously the stock market doesn't matter to so many people because so many people, not nobody, but so many people can't benefit from it, right? So when they hear, oh, the economy is doing great, the stock market's booming, that doesn't matter to a majority of Americans because a majority of Americans can't benefit from the stock market booming, right? Maybe the economy is a little better. Oh well, we don't feel that, right? Like most people don't feel that. So that's why they truly think the economy gets worse and worse. Because, oh shit, at the end of the day, perspective is reality, straight up. If you think you're in a shit position, then you're in a shit position, right? And you can't change that for yourself. Well, you can always change it, but if you can't change that mental state, you're always going to think you're in a bad position, right? So I don't know. It's weird to see. It's weird to see. A lot of people are busting their ass, right? A lot of people are trying as hard as they can just to get by. I think 60%. I think 60% of Americans are paycheck to paycheck, straight up, and it's just how it is, right? It's tough out there for people, And these fucking corporations got to keep making it worse. These billionaires got to make it worse on us, right? They siphon even more and more and more money out of us, and then they try to change jobs to AI, where they everything's going to AI. Entry jobs are being lost, and even if it's not getting lost to AI, it's getting lost to freaking H-1B visas or foreign workers who accept a lower pay, right? Because I guess America's an open economic zone. It's not a fucking sovereign nation anymore for its citizens, and it's just so weird. I don't know. It seems that yeah, it just seems things are always getting worse, and you can see it in every metric, right? And then you can see it in your own daily life. You can see how much harder you have to work for the things that your parents had, right? And obviously, this doesn't always pertain to when I talk about things. It doesn't always pertain to me. You know, I try to save as much money as physically possible. I try to never spend money on things. I hate spending money, straight up. Even if I'm spending $5, I hate it. I hate it. It pains me to spend any amount of money. It's and it, I'm sure that's how people feel nowadays. When you have to spend money on garbage, it just frustrates. Oh, well, uh, that boy's got a problem there. But I don't know. I know people who are completely non-frugal. They spend money on anything and everything. They spend money that's not even their own money. That's debt money on financial luxuries and expenses, and it's just like you're going into credit card debt more and more. You're spending it on DoorDash. You're spending it on luxury purses. You're gambling, and it's like, okay, how how like why are you doing this, right? Just pissing it away more and more and more and more and more. And I could never do that. I hate gambling. I think gambling is the biggest vice our generation Gen Z has, and I just don't understand it at all. I don't understand why people gamble. The thrill is never there because the amount when you're gambling or whenever I'm gambling, I straight up am always sitting there like, all right, how much an hour am I pissing away right now? How many hours of my life am I pissing away right now? Straight up. That's how it is. And it frustrates, thankfully, I think all my friends have gotten over that. Kyle isn't really into gambling. Caden isn't into gambling at all anymore. Kenzie hates gambling to an exorbitant and like just an nth level. And I agree with her. I hate gambling too. So thank God they got all over that. I don't have to worry about them as much pissing away all their money on gambling. But man, I don't know. It's not like they're pissing it away on anything that they love to do anymore, right? They're pissing it away on rent. They're pissing it away on school. They're pissing it away on food. All the essentials. I most of my friends don't buy anything anymore that they appreciate or like. It goes all into the family or it goes all into necessary expenses, right? Straight up. And I don't know. I think the longer you live without anything you're really looking forward to, the worse it just gets. The more negative you are, the more problems you perceive, and often the most problems are real, straight up. But I don't know. I always hope that everyone in my generation they make it work. They push for a better life, and everybody's working so hard in my generation. The elderly are always like these fucking lazy ass kids. Yeah, I don't remember many fucking elderly in my family having to work multiple jobs at the same time, right? Besides my parents. And even then, that was because the economy was getting somewhat worse around the fucking 2008 financial recession, right? That's when a lot of problems would happen. But you go back to my grandparents' generation, and I talked to them about it. None of them has two jobs. Maybe they did side labor at home for like many things, but it was not. You go out and bust your ass 16 hours a day, right? It's just not how it is, or well, it was. It is nowadays. Most of my friends have two jobs. They can't make it by even renting. They can't make it by with just one job. They have to bust their ass 60, 70, 80 hours a week just to get by. You know, I don't know. It's just everyone. everyone can see it. I think in our generation that things are getting worse. I think the statistic right now is 44 to percent of 18 to 30-year olds like can't afford to move out or they're struggling, right? And 40%, that's like half our generation plus half the millennials almost, right? That's a ridiculous amount. And it's not bad. I wouldn't say it's bad to live at home, right? Obviously, you get to put money back into the family. You get to spend more time with those you love. You get a few perks from living at home, right? You get to spend time with your mom, your dad, your grandparents, your uncles. You get to help them out around. I personally try to help them out as much as I can. I try to make it so that I'm always doing the vacuuming, the dishes, the cleaning, the maintenance. I try to do as much as I can to help them, right? Any task they're doing, I go up. I'm like, all right, do you need help? How can I help you with this? I need to work on this, right? Even while going to school. And my mom gets it angry at me sometimes when I do that, but it's like I'm gonna help you. At the end of the day, I'm gonna bust my ass to try to help you around the house because I love them. They're my family. I care about them a lot. There's a lot of people. It's kind of sad. There's a lot of people that don't love their family. They don't care about them. They're not in their family's lives, right? All my money and oh no, they actually got up. They were pissed. But yeah, like some people do get that benefit where their parents are paying for their rent or their parents are paying for that college. Yeah, I don't have that luxury. All right, straight up, I had to bust my ass for everything. I spent 8 grand out of pocket on my car. I spend not an extreme amount, but a decent amount every month on rent. I pay for all my college courses. It's just like, I don't know. I always had to work. I always had to make money, right? I always have to bonus myself. I always had to get some sort of benefit. And I was working for a long time. I was working from 18 to like 23. And that's when I gave up. I was like, fuck it, I need to go to school. I need to make more money because it was not working. Everything I was doing wasn't working. It wasn't that I didn't have the opportunities or I didn't love people or I didn't have anything in my family, but like I was driving a $2,000 piece of shit fucking burnout car for the longest time. I was fucking busting my ass. Never multiple jobs, thank God. I never wanted that, but I've always had a job. I was always working on something, right? Whether it was a side gig or whether it was a part-time job or whether it was a full-time experience, I was always working towards something, right? And most people don't even have that luxury, right? Most people they get into a job they hate that barely pays them anything. They can't afford anything. They never get to upgrade their lives. They never get any sort of benefit, right? So it's just I don't know. It's just a weird time we're living through. I think after this boss, it'll be the end of my little daily chat. But I don't know. If you're working hard, if you're busting your ass, I hope you're always, I hope you're always going to be getting better. I hope life gets better for all of us soon. Um, and maybe let me know in the comments. Do you still live at home? Do your parents help you out at all with anything? Or do you live on your own? Do you bust it out? Do you have a significant other that's helping you pay for stuff or friends or roommates, right? Let me know. Um, and I think with that, we'll call it a day. Obviously, play games, enjoy your time, try to find things you love in life. Every day I exercise. I'm getting beefier by the day, Always try to find time to better yourself, to work yourself to a better degree, right? Try to find things that benefit your life, benefit your family, benefit your friends, whatever you can do, right? Straight up. And with that, we're gonna leave it here. I hope y'all have a wonderful day. Happy April. I don't think no, I put one out on April Fool's Day. So I hope y'all had a wonderful April Fool's Day. I hope you did a good prank on somebody or just spent time with your family and loved ones, right? And with that, I am